Jesus, tell me that it's true. You came to set me free. You took all of my sins and then you tossed them to the sea. I really need to know what you see in me. I look into this mirror, I'm not liking what I see. Jesus, tell me that it's true. You came to set me free. You take all of my sins and then you toss them to the sea. I really need to know what you see in me. I look into this mirror, I'm not liking what I see. Jesus, tell me that it's true.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of
Kingdom Minded Podcast.
I'm here with Angel. And let's introduce everybody around the table. Go ahead.
My name is Josh Quintero.
Luis Gutierrez.
Here from El Paso.
Oh, we gotta say where we're from?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Anthony, New Mexico.
My name is Gabriel Reese.
Down from the lower valley.
So we were having a small conversation before we got the podcast started, and we were talking about what restaurants. If you guys know, Governor Greg Abbott today announced that we're going to reopen Texas. So praise God that we have a Christian governor, God's favor. And we were talking about, I think, May 1st and the 30th, I think, right? They're going to stop there. They're going to do the work, the stay-home order. It's going to be canceled. And I think May 1st, I think restaurants are going to open up. So we're asking some of the guys, what restaurant are you guys going to go to? Because obviously it's an El Paso thing. We're going to go eat is the first thing we're going to do. Forget everything else, right?
Yeah.
So we'll start with Josh.
Oh, I'm going down to Chico's. First thing, Chico's. Friday night.
Basic, dude. Everyone's gonna go to Chico's.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I eat it once a year.
Oh,
That's
come
it.
on.
Once a year, man.
Come on.
That's it. I'm
No
not-
way, man.
It's overhyped.
Because
Overrated,
you're not from
man.
here, that's why.
All right, we'll leave that for the next podcast. All right, Luis, what about you, man?
I have to say, honestly, I really wanna just sit down and eat a Whataburger.
I'm with you, man. You know what? I just want to sit down in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care where
The
it's at or
experience.
where it goes. I just want to get out of the house and sit down in a restaurant. That's something that I actually really miss.
Yeah.
Is being in an atmosphere where I don't have to pick up after the kids.
Yeah.
We let the kids run around and then the restaurant people take
Yeah,
care of them.
that's what tips are for. You know what I'm talking about?
And just like having other people around you, that's like one thing that like it's like you want to go like say like, hey, let's go get a burger or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's something you always say like Wingstop.
Like the other day we went to what's it called, Whataburger. But by the time we come home, the burger's still good, but the fries are all hard,
Yeah.
Soggy,
nasty.
exactly.
You know? It's
They're not
like,
hot.
but when you get them there, they're
They
like
have to be
fresh.
fresh.
You know,
Exactly.
hot.
You have to eat it there.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, man.
Well, there's a hack to that. You just say no salt and they have to make them fresh.
That's true. I do
What?
that all the
It's
time.
just when we have an order of fries with no salt, they have to make them fresh because all their fries are already salted. So that's just
Yeah. So they have to make a fresh
and then
batch
you just
with
add
no
your own
salt.
salt.
yes, you get home and do your own thing. If you want to be healthy, sea salt.
Ow.
Sea salt, but you're eating fries.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't know about that, man.
yeah, but anyways, you can add the salt at home. That's a hack. Those of you watching. at
Wow,
home.
that's cool. That's nice to know, man.
So Chico's, you said Whataburger, and Adam said Whataburger.
Yeah, I
Whataburger?
just said the restaurant.
Gabriel?
I think I'm with Adam, man. Any restaurant, even especially for lunch, when we go out to eat somewhere, there's this. So we're out there, like far Montana Vista. It's called. There's a high school there called Mountain View High School, and right next to it, there's a little like hole in the wall restaurant with a couple of seats. But it was nice just to get a burrito and just sit there. But now we gotta get a burrito and then drive all the way back to the job site where you don't want to be
yeah.
at lunch. But we gotta sit there and eat it and then go back to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Do they put you to work early? Like, hey, you're here.
No,
I don't
they
see you're eating.
No. That's a good
Get back
thing.
to work.
That's a good
Yeah.
thing. Is
Yeah.
we actually sit kind of far where there's some shade, and then we just sit there and eat.
That's what's up, man.
Do you have a go-to restaurant with like your wife, like you and your wife, that you guys go to, like
Wings, we always go get
Oh,
wings.
nice.
like Buffalo Wild Wings or
No, we go to Wingstop all the time.
60 cents on Mondays.
what do you? Ooh.
That's where we go.
Tuesdays.
Or sushi.
Mondays and
That's
Tuesdays.
special.
Mondays is 25-cent wings at Applebee's.
True.
So that's maybe we're all
No,
good.
never
but they're
mind.
not that
You're
good.
not
I'll
good.
just buy them at Walmart. I'll buy the
Tyson bag.
I don't
Yeah,
like
that's
those. I don't like those. Though.
Well, I mean, if I was gonna go to Applebee's, might
Might as well buy the bag. Yeah.
buy the bag at
Just
Walmart.
buy a deep fryer. Our grandma gave us a deep fryer for Christmas. My dad's been using it like crazy. All he does is use his deep fryer. He's like, hey, you want me to deep fry that? I mean, he like an Oreo.
Deep fried Twinkie.
Pass it over here. I'll
You
do it.
know what? No, but we like to buy the.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
You get that
the
state
wings,
fair food, how where they fry the
Yeah.
Twinkies and they fry like
the Oreo, the fried Oreos.
Right
So
on.
the next concert that we go out there, man, there should
We're
be better
expecting
food,
that.
right?
Speaking
Tell
of,
my dad. He'll like,
you know what? Speaking of Chicos, were you there when we had Chicos? Right, you guys at that. You
Oh,
had homemade
yeah.
Chicos, right? At
You
your
went to a revival?
yeah, at the revival. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Last night, I just happened to show up right on time. They had homemade Chicos,
Last night?
man. No, the last time that we went out there for the revival before everything
Nice.
took place,
That's
and
what's
they had
up.
homemade Chicos, man.
Wow.
I don't get
Sick
invited
invite.
to the revival.
Yeah, sick invite.
Yeah, I mean, in order to get part of the revival, you have to show up for outreach. So,
I was there at outreach.
you were?
Were you?
Yeah.
I can't go to that outreach.
I remember Angel always. Angel's always.
Bro, I can't go to that outreach. I gotta stay in the
I'm there at every
Hold
outreach
on, I
until
was there
everybody gets annoyed that I'm always
When
there.
for the concert, I was there for the outreach.
Oh yeah, he was there actually because he was gonna do the concert
That's right.
that day for our revival.
That's
that was
right.
gonna
You
be
didn't
next
stick
week.
around or what?
I don't remember Chico's.
That was the last night.
I remember
It
nachos.
was for the outreach. It was
Oh,
for the
okay.
revival.
Yeah, it was the last night of revival.
Ah,
that
okay.
they had it right. Was it last
Yeah,
night?
last night.
Saturday night.
Now I know. Just go to the last
Yeah.
night of revival.
Yes.
Is that a Wednesday or is that a Friday?
No,
It was
it was
Saturday.
It was those Friday.
Those weekend
Thursday.
ones, the weekend
Yeah,
revivals.
the weekend ones.
Cool. I bring up something that you brought up back when I first got saved. You know, you said, you know, sometimes we're too busy trying to get to church that we forget to be the church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that really stuck with me since then, you know, because sometimes we're running around, we're doing this and that, and I'm trying to, but you forget, like, there's people that have broken down cars that you can stop and you can pull over and
Yeah.
you can do these types of things, you know.
The famous, street prophet Andy Mineo said, I talk about God more than I talk to with him, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that's pretty powerful if you actually think about it, because you're too busy, I gotta do that you forget that, it's not about doing really, yeah, works is part of it, ministry and rules and all this stuff, but reality is about loving God and loving people. In reality, what are the first commandments? Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and love others as you love yourself. It's like that's really the number one commandment. If you love God, with all your heart, all your mind, and then that love starts transforming you from the inside out, then it just becomes something that's real, not just something that's superficial and something on the outside. But a lot of times we just get busy, we just get, especially now, you have a wife and kids, you have 20 different ministries, and you have to clean, and do all this sort of stuff, but you forget that on your way to,
you got things too.
yeah, but you forget that on your way to Home Depot, there's people that are suffering, that you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And you just gotta allow God to inconvenience you. I guess that's the probably way to say it. Do you still allow God to inconvenience you? Can you still allow God to inconvenience you? Because reality, if you think about it, you're too busy. I gotta do this. There's deadlines. That we gotta.
Yeah.
If things were going on, we would have Cinco de Mayo this next Saturday, and we have to do stuff and all that.
Already in the run-up to
But maybe God did all this, to get us back to basics. Like He paused everything. We're not doing stuff, so that now you can get back to basics, which is what? Loving God and loving people. Hey, calling people up. Hey, how you doing? Love you, man. Taking care of you. Just wanted to catch up with you, or just getting back to the Word, getting back to prayer and relationship with God. In reality, that's the most important thing.
I would say so. Like this whole staying at home, watching church from home, it kind of does separate you from your brethren.
Yeah.
And usually you say, oh, that person's doing bad. I hit him up on Wednesday. I hit him up on Sunday. I'm gonna talk to him,
Yeah.
pull him aside.
You forget though.
But now that we don't have Sunday or Wednesday that we could just go, hey man, let me holler at you though. We don't have that.
Yeah.
Now you actually have to, get on the
Yeah.
phone and reach out to them, send them a text. It's a little harder now, and I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where I just say, I'll do it on Sunday, and now I'm forced to like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? You really do got to reach out to them, because if
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. Just loving God and loving people.
What I wanted to touch on when you said about being inconvenienced, because I know that a lot of people, I myself being one of them, is you ask God, use me.
Mm-hmm.
You're praying to use me. So, and I've had several times where God's dealt with me, because like you said that they had, several different ministries, and you're sometimes you're so stretched so thin. You try to find that balance where, your kids, family, work, all of that, and then it's that time when you're about to sit down and relax. Maybe you're with your wives, your kids. You're doing just to relax, and all of a sudden you get that call or somebody texts you. They need somebody 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you're dead tired. And there's times where I've just been like, and then God's spoken to me and said, "This is not what you wanted. It's not what you asked me." So I think you have to also count the cost. You know what I mean? You got to put yourself out there. But I like how you said that, going back to basics. Yeah. Sometimes we make it very hard to serve God when it's not that hard. I mean, of course, you're going to go through, your trials and things of that nature. But I think we make it hard where like you overthink things. You know what I mean? All sometimes somebody needs is a simple phone call. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I missed you today. Hey, man, I was thinking of you at prayer. Sometimes that person's they're going through it and you have no idea, and just a simple, you send them a scripture, you send them a devotion, or even just say, hey man, what's up, what are you doing? And that makes all the difference in the world. I think that's what we need to go back to.
Yeah, I remember one time when this really hit me was like years ago. I brought some people to church, but I think I don't remember if I was an usher and I was in the media ministry at that time. But basically, I brought these guys to church, and we were running late, so we came in through the edge, through the south entrance of the church. Yeah. And but we're running late. I think I was ushering at that time. I was ushering, and I'm running late. So I tell the guys, I'm gonna get rebuked for being late. I can't be late. I'll see you guys inside. So I run all the way inside, and when I'm running through the restrooms right there by the edge, I'm like, it hit me like, what the heck am I doing? Like you just brought people to church. That's what it's all about, And you're so worried that you're gonna get rebuked there because you're late, because you have to be here, When in reality, the most important thing is these people that you brought to church that need you, that need to be saved, need to get saved, and you're just abandoning them because you gotta do something, That's when it hit me like wait.
I remember that.
Like
that's true, man.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, we get so caught up in our own selfish needs that we gotta do this, that we actually forget the whole purpose is that we're here to serve others and not ourselves. I mean, it kind of goes back to like this Saturday, I don't know if you guys knew, but Pastor Rene from the Northeast was having his an outreach, but he's gonna have a drive-in service where a drive-in revival where you park your car in the parking lot and you preach the gospel out in the parking lot of people. So we went on the Saturday, which I think it's a great idea. We're probably gonna do it at the Anthony Church. But what was so amazing that he said that come. So he called us up, come help us outreach, and we went. And he told, we're not gonna knock on the doors or anything. We're just gonna leave the flyers. So we're like, oh, okay. I mean, just leave the flyers. But then and many times like we're so used to like just knocking on the door and like many people like opening and waiting for us. By the time we're all done and we're just like and then it felt weird. I'm like, what, this is so weird. Like we finished this like in like 20-30 minutes. Like usually it takes like a good hour to do a good apartment complex, which was weird. So then I was just like, nah, I can't do this. Like I need to tell somebody. Social distancing. I mean, I was like practicing like 6 feet away, and I just gave him like a little fist bump, like I didn't shake his hand. But God gave me an opportunity, and also an opportunity for one of Daniel, one of his disciples, Pastor Rene, one of his disciples, and there was this young man. He was probably like 23 years old, and he was just going through some things. He was just, and I was just able to have the opportunity, I gave him the flyer, like told him, hey, we're having this revival and stuff like that. And he's like, this is what I actually needed, because during all this thing, I'm struggling financially. I can't find no job or anything. And I told him, well, come man, we're going to be praying for miracles and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, and I was just able to witness to and tell my testimony and stuff like that. And it just felt like good that, this is what we actually need to do. And during this time that, many times it's like, yeah, I could have just gone like, oh, here you go. But, God really told me just, tell them that, I have a plan and purpose for him. And so hopefully he goes to the revival, which I'm praying he does. So yeah, we just like kind of sometimes forget, and we kind of go into our own little routine of like, oh, just put the flyers real quick, and vámonos, I don't want to get caught or anything. But
it's crazy. While you're saying that, Ernie once told me, it was when I was a newer convert, right? But Ernie once told me, he said, Adam, why do you think it is that some people get many opportunities to give their life to Christ, and some people only have that one opportunity to give their life to Christ, And if we're not out there doing what we're supposed to be doing, they might not even have that.
I think, us us being the church, I think that's a really big thing, you know, like as you're saying, one big thing for me is at work, you know. At work, I tend to forget about my coworkers, you know, that these guys need to get saved, you know. But in my head, I'm like, bro, let's just finish so I can go to church and do stuff that I have to do, you know. Let me go home early so I can do stuff that I have to do at church, you know. But I forget about my coworkers need Jesus. My boss needs Jesus. I can't talk to him the way sometimes I talk to him, you know. I can't, my attitudes, you know, I can have attitudes at work because I'm with them more than my wife, you know. So sometimes like the ugly comes out of me and they see it, you know, and I tend to forget that these people need to get saved, you know. It's not about just working and then going to church and doing God's things, you know. It's at work. I have to make sure I win them, you know.
I mean, it just has to be a lot of prayer, more prayer. To me, it's just that those notions where, you know, where I was walking and just leaving the flyers, I just felt weird. And I prayed to God, like, God, this feels weird. Just, you know, send me somebody or, you know, give me something. And, you know, that's kind of how I kind of say that we need to start praying more of like, God, give us these souls. Give us those people that, you know, are lost, broken inside, that need you, Lord. Just give me that opportunity.
I would say pray that God gives you a love for people, you know. Really, that's what it is, because we get so caught up doing stuff, you know, that and don't forget why we do stuff, you know. Like, we don't do stuff to have an amazing, beautiful building, you know, which is obviously part of what we do, you know, and stuff and what you have to do. But but the reason you do it is so that people can come, you know, and be comfortable and, you know, right now be safe and you know, in this environment to worship God. And that's why we do stuff. Why are you doing the things that you do? Why do we pray in the mornings? You know, why do we outreach on Saturdays? Why, you know, why? In reality, it's not because we have to, be because the person on the other side of it needs to get saved, you know. And that's been my prayer lately, like, God, give me a love for people again, you know, give me a love for people again. And that's what I think it is, you know. Give me a love for people again, you know. Help me to see what you see, help me to hear what you hear, you know. And when you love people, you know, it's, you know, you know, you can do whatever, you know.
I mean, one thing, since like being in a smaller church, you kind of see that, you know, people do get you frustrated. People do, you know, make you want to like just like give up on them, give up on, like, you know, trying. You know, it's hard, and that's kind of like, you know, an issue that struggles with like smaller churches and opening up churches. I mean, one thing that, you know, you see people and you tell them, oh, Jesus could change your life. Jesus could do this in your life. And, you know, you see the road they're in, the path, the direction they're going to, and, you know, it's going to lead to destruction, but yet they don't see that, and yet they continue doing the same thing, and that just frustrates you as a person. You're just like, come on, can't you just see? So I think it's kind of like in those moments where you just got to kind of calmly, like how you said, having a love for people, and it's that love for people that's going to get you through it. And just, you know, in those moments where I kind of, because it does happen where you know, I'm working with a young guy and I'm telling him, like, you know, God could do this, and yet it just frustrates you that, you know, he can't see it. Like, I remember when I came to church, like, you know, my dad or our family, we instantly got it. Like, those people that can instantly get it. Like, okay, we got to start doing this, you know. And, you know, I don't want to say that I instantly got it, but like, I understood that, you know, there's going to have to be changes that need to be done. And, you know, it's just in those moments where I kind of like just calm down, just pray to God, tell him, like, God, continue helping me have this love for people.
That's pretty good.
I think one thing I wanted to say real quickly was, you know, the fix, I think, would be just continue to do what we do, but do it a little bit more aggressively with love, like my brother said. But this is a platform that God's giving us, you know, you know, to be his voice, because I remember when the shooting happened, like what Pastor Ernie said, that it just passed by the anniversary, and it was like whatever, because it was eclipsed by, you know, the COVID. And then now, you know, people just, what happened, the shooting happened, people were a little bit kind of on edge for a while, then everybody kind of just eased back into society, doing their own thing, living their lives, right? So I think that's what they're waiting with this. Automatically, when I saw that this thing was lifted, you know, here, you know, as far as a stay at home, and you know, we're going to start opening up Texas again, I think that some people are kind of waiting to go back to doing what they were doing. You know, maybe thinking, okay, well, it'll pass, maybe it'll come in winter, but we'll deal with it when it gets here. having forgot all the fatalities, things that resulted. But then, I was talking to my mom a few moments ago. She's in California. There, everything's mandatory. The mask, if you don't wear it, it's $1,000 fine. They extended it from May up until middle of June. So she told me, I guess this is a new normal. And I said, no, that's not. That's a lie. You know what I mean? Don't buy that. Don't buy into that. It's not the new normal. I said, if anything, this is an opportunity for us to go out there and speak to it and say, look, this is what happened. Maybe you're not listening to us, but God said, you're going to listen to me. And look how He got everybody's attention. Even Christians, He got our attention by saying, oh man, you know what? We need to step this thing up, because who knows when He's going to come back. And that, like you said, not everybody's going to get that second opportunity sometimes.
Oh, okay. Think about it. The church, we think that it's a building, right? COVID happened, and now the church has multiplied into 300 different little churches. Or millions of churches around the world, because the church is not a building. We are the church. We are the temple, so now your house has become a temple of God, So I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say with this, but that we are the church, and basically the church is not a building. Now the church is all over El Paso on a Wednesday or any day of the week. The church is all over El Paso. In our house, we stand up, we clap our hands, we worship God. And Pastor's been getting down with his sermons lately,
Great.
like it's conference style every single sermon. Usually on Sunday nights he's a little more calm, and he's like more, slow, but now every single sermon he's like da da da, like so now the church has multiplied, and now like people are saying, you do feel the dimension of God in your homes, like probably wasn't there before. But because we are the church, it's not a building. We don't go to church. We are the church going to a building. Yes, it's a temple where we, but if that building were to blow up or whatever, that's not the church.
I rebuke that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, be flooded.
Even that works.
That would be Gabriel's fault. That would be
souls.
He's gonna need a bigger mop.
We're gonna edit that. Flooded with souls.
If we flooded with souls, if anything. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How did we give him fault? But you get my point though. Like in reality, we are the church. Acts, I think, what was it? Acts 8 or 7, when the the persecution started. The church was just in Jerusalem, and God used the persecution to disperse the church. And that's because they weren't going anywhere. They were just in Jerusalem. But Jesus said, go to Jerusalem, Samaria, and then the rest of the world. So it's like they weren't going anywhere. But the persecution, God used the persecution to disperse the church. And now the church started going everywhere else.
Kind of learned more how to appreciate my brothers,
Oh, yeah.
And it made me appreciate the military base. Since I've been doing the military base.
Correct, yeah.
It made me appreciate these soldiers a lot more, Since the COVID-19 happened, I think there's been like 3 or 4 suicides, and just the unit that the one that we go to for the Bible study, and just the guys I know, just in their units, there's been like 4 suicides.
Wow.
So it made me realize like I have a mission. I can't get distracted. I have to do this not because of who cares about me, but about these soldiers, man. They really need Jesus. They really need to get saved. So I mean, that's in my sense, it's that, and then appreciating the brothers is a big thing, Yeah. Just seeing, this past Sunday, just seeing all those people there. Sometimes some people don't even talk to them, but just seeing them there was like a joy to my heart, man. Just seeing these people there, it's like, man, they're still saved, they're here,
Yeah.
It made me appreciate it a lot more.
Did you appreciate me when you walked in the house?
Yeah, I appreciated it. I appreciated coming into this house again. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's good, man. So I think that's...
To go to that point, I mean, how you said the army, the soldiers, like, committing suicide. Even with this, the aftermath and the effects are going to come after this quarantine. The economy is going to be down for a while.
Right, yeah.
Hopefully it gets back up there how it was before. But how people are losing their jobs, people are not finding jobs, and also people are staying at home, and people who used to go to work, to kind of like run away from their problems, run away from their situations that are at home, are stuck there and they can't go anywhere. So I guess where I'm leading with this is that you really don't know what people are actually going through.
Yeah.
Like at your work, at school, at whatever, you really don't know what they're going through, because maybe that's the way they escape from all those problems that are at home. Maybe an abusive father, maybe, you know, not having a father, maybe, you know, just the turmoil that's going on in the house, that people, you really don't know what they're going through. So that's something that I learned about, that, you know, and it's kind of like gotten me to town, you know, to be more of a witness, to be more of like, you know, somebody that, you know, spreads the truth and telling them there is hope and found in Jesus Christ. And that's just one thing that, you know, people now are, you know, how they said there's some statistics going up that, you know, divorce was going up. Suicides were going up.
Domestic violence,
everything was going up because people are just there at home. And, you know, the way they run is going to work, going to school, you know, going out and just, you know, worrying about their problems. People who, you know, who go to the clubs and drink, or, you know, get drunk on the weekends, are getting drunk every day, basically, because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, I think this is great when they come up with the live stream, even because of the church and bringing the live stream. Like, you know, you could send that link to somebody. You could send that, you know, here, watch this, watch, we're having church right now. And even that, how you say, you know, appreciating the brothers more, like even the brothers in the church, you know, you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's a struggle to, like, you know, many times how when we were saying before that we get selfish and, you know, just worry about our own things, or you know how you say vacation, not to say that vacation isn't bad, like, oh, I'm just gonna relax, not worry about anything. Just watch the live stream here on my couch while I eat a donut.
Craig, did you hear that?
So yeah, like that's something that, well, like during this time, you know, we should be calling that brother up, or we should be sending the link to everyone we know who's not saved. And one thing that's great is that, you know, we started our own live stream at the Anthony Church, and, you know, my dad just started sending the link to everyone, his friends, you know, his family. And, you know, it's good that my uncle that's not saved, you know, he started watching it. One of my dad's best friends from like high school started watching it. You know, his family started watching it, and which is good. I mean, like, hopefully, you know, you pray that they stay and watch the whole thing. But even if they get that little like that little one clip where it just says that, you know, God could change your life, Jesus could change your circumstances, or even if they have it in the background where they're just there in the background and they hear, you know, something that touches their heart, where they're washing dishes or something, and it touches their heart, it makes them to stop, and it just plants that seed. And that's something that, you know, us as Christians, we just need to plant the seed and let God do the rest.
Amen. Wow.
He's ready to get sent out, man.
Amen. Yeah.
You gotta get married.
So the real question, what's up with your dad's haircut?
Huh? Oh, it's the cult that where you just it's called giving up.
It's called you couldn't find a barber anywhere. Everything was closed.
No, he
just give up.
He doesn't. Well, yeah, he does go to the barber, but I mean,
just give up.
He's going balder. It's time to just.
He just shaved it off?
Like a Band-Aid.
He shaved it off. Yeah, he shaved it.
He did it on his own.
No.
Yeah, he did it on his own. You could tell he did it on his own.
It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, if I was gonna do that, I'd mess with it a little bit and try to see what I could do and then come off with it. Yeah, but
I actually wanted to do a cut like that because
it's just style right now, man.
Yeah, it is.
you know something you could do that. Kind of start retraining your hair again.
Get a little fade.
Yeah, every once in a while you could do that just to retrain your hair.
Yeah,
just go bald in the
that's what
front.
I wanted to do the most part, to like retrain my hair because it's just going.
How are you gonna train it?
What?
How would you train it?
No,
retrain it. You just like grow this way, you know. Tell me.
Oh, you want it?
There's a way how you can cut it.
Yeah, like if you just cut it clean and like let it grow back, it grows how you.
Yeah.
How do you want it though?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like,
how do you want it?
How are you gonna? What style are you gonna go? The new style?
Go the Quintero or what?
That's a good style right there. Yeah, that's good. It's French.
You do the Johnny Bravo?
Johnny Bravo, you can do the Twinkie?
Yeah, this is a new style that I'm doing. I'm gonna do it.
To the side.
I've always wanted curly hair, so I don't know.
I don't know if you could train your hair that way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like go curly.
Get it permanent.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't get it permanent. That's
do it permanent, yeah.
A perm, not a perm.
That's what it's called. That's what it's called.
Permanent?
Permanent.
Oh, that's a shortcut.
It's not really a perm, but you said a permanent.
I was like, we know it as perm.
You trying to do like let's make it sound manly, right? A permanent.
It's from like the old Eddie Murphy movies, that's what they call it.
A permanent.
Because it says permanent like that for a little bit, no?
For a couple of months, I think.
You just gotta put the.
So, what did you learn from this, then, man? Getting back to the subject.
Yeah, what have you learned? I haven't seen you at church.
I don't get invited.
Oh.
That's
You're
it.
security. You should be invited.
Ernie Lopez, I haven't been invited.
All you gotta do is just show up, bro.
I don't want.
Well, don't say that online.
I don't want to be.
Everyone's gonna go.
I don't want.
Everybody's gonna show up.
Edit that.
I don't want to be that guy that just shows up. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like what the Bible says. Like when you go to a wedding, you sit in the back, and if they allow you to come to the front, then you belong up there. I don't want to go to the front and get kicked out.
What about the persistent friend, right? You just keep showing up being persistent. Someone's gonna let you in.
Yeah. Or I mean, just text Ernie. You know, text him.
Nah, man. We're good. You know what we miss is children's church or nursery.
Oh, nursery. That's a good one.
We miss nursery.
I like that.
But no, man. We're here. We're here. We're clapping. We're doing things, and
Hitting the altar.
We're praying.
That's awesome, man.
And we're doing. We're trying to do everything that we have to do. And yeah, we do miss going to church. But some things that I do miss, or that I think that we could implement even after, is the live streams.
Yes.
The live streams.
Where else are you gonna get 900 views to the Edge Cafe?
Oh.
Or you said the Curbside Edge had like 10,000 views or something.
We're at 10,000 views.
Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
The power of live stream,
Yeah.
the power of technology. Yes, I understand people will maybe want to stay home and stuff, but that's where Pastor Stevens. But the power of live stream. Where else are you gonna get 1,000 views per sermon? And not just that. One sermon that you preach normally without a live stream is there for 500 people, and that's it. This sermon is for 1,000 people, but let's say somebody 5 years from now clicks into this last Sunday night sermon, and the anointing, the power of God is still there.
Right.
And God can still heal the brokenhearted 5 years from now, and it's still there. That's the power of live stream.
That's something I wanted to bring up too during a serious minute. Like, I understand the power of being in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, and I'm not gonna change that. Yeah. I get it, but you can still get healed. Your foot's hurting or whatever, you still could get healed.
Yeah.
It's proven it.
Yeah.
You still could get healed. Miracles still happen, even if it's on live stream. These things are still happening.
The influence that we can have.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, those 7 letters to 7 churches, like, they always bring that up.
Yeah.
Like, 7, you had to be there to hear it. Well, now
you can live stream it.
I can still kind of be there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about. But you just use of technology.
Mm-hmm.
The flyers. This is something that I've been talking about for a long time.
Digital flyers, yeah.
The digital flyers. Man, I could send out a flyer, put $10 behind the ad, and reach 1,300 people, 13,000 people. From $10, $15 that I put in an ad, I could reach more the people around the zip code that I want to hit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we stop going door to door because I think that's effective.
Yeah.
But we implement that. We do that same thing. Like just being more creative.
Yeah, I think we should keep that. Yeah. I think that it's really effective. Even having the Zoom meetings is really effective.
The Zoom meetings.
Yeah,
the serious men meeting.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to wake up at 6 in the morning. Or what is it?
Yeah.
7 in the morning.
Yeah, it's 7:30, but you wake up at 6.
I wake up at 6:30.
I get to church at 6.
Just do it like the newscasters.
Yeah. I'm on door director schedule, dude. Because I remember when I was door director, it was 6 a.m.
Now I can
sit in the
get there at
office.
6:30 now. Now since we're doing the live stream thing, I can get there at 6:30.
No, that's crazy.
But it's just amazing the power of technology. Our church in Spain has 100 people. With their live streaming, they're hitting 300. It's like.
And who's to say that those people won't come out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna see something going on their live stream. You see all the people gathering, like, hey, I want to be there too. That looks like, there's like you said, the revival's going on. But like I said, we can reach a lot more people like that too. You know what I mean? So we're not replacing it. We're just incorporating it too.
Yes, 500 people. But yet thousands of people that are hearing the message that may not come to church, but you don't know if they prayed or not in their living rooms. You don't know that. but they did, and God knows that.
And people are doing that now. People
Exactly.
are calling Ernie now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the thing. There's some people that just won't go to the building. They just won't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they don't want the things of God.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they don't want to, be challenged. They just never been challenged in that way. And if they're over here listening to the prosperity preacher, then they really haven't been. Those are the only.
They haven't been transformed. Or
Those are the only people talking to them
the
right
TV
now.
preacher,
Those are the ones
Yeah.
that going to where they're at. You know what I mean? We're not going to where they're at.
Yeah.
So we could come in the same way, but with the message of the gospel,
To
the
say,
real
hey
gospel,
man,
you know?
hey, you're drinking, you're smoking, you need to cut that out.
Yeah.
You need
Get saved.
you need to get
You need to be filled with the
repent.
Holy
Yeah.
Spirit, yeah.
And you're convicted there. Okay, you're convicted in your own home. You're not there like 20 other people staring at you at the altar. So I could tell that. One thing I want to bring up when you were saying that what I told Pastor Stevens we could use as a reference point. I think the fact that he was obedient to God and he went ahead with this conference. How he said, because I was watching a message the other day from Pastor Warner that they're going to go with their conference now because of what he saw in our conference. And said this might just work. You know what I mean? Like it still was powerful. God was still moved.
Yeah.
Regardless. With that conference. So I think the fact that he did that, it just opened up, the playing field to something new. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where you have to spur the moment. Like God, I need something. I need you to help me. This God delivered. You know what I mean? Like now because of that, like you said, we're reaching out people, different homes all over the country. People from other fellowships, or people from other cities. I think somebody from Farmington, right? They called in and they said they got healed during one of our services.
No, check this out. So remember last night, Pastor Steven said somebody from 1,800 miles to 2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Dark wall.
You just went through something very traumatic,
Yeah.
and I want to tell you right now that God's gonna heal you. Somebody in West Virginia yesterday called. I think it was Richard or Ernie. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that one of their family members had just committed suicide.
Wow.
And they were broken. They were totally broken. And that God healed their heart
Wow.
at that moment.
That sermon.
How far is West Virginia? I have no idea, but
Well, yeah.
more than
Far
1,000
away.
miles away,
Yeah.
That's powerful,
I
man.
got Google Maps this, huh?
From West Virginia, they're tuning in to a little building in El Paso, Texas, and God is able to heal their heart.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. That's powerful.
Because God is not constrained to the walls of our building.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why
Limitless.
He dispersed us, and now we are the church. Going back to what we were saying before.
Yeah.
So I think as long as we don't go back to where we were, because even with the online giving, Pastor didn't want to do that for a long time. But even in the weeks before all the shutdown, and if you guys know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that I heard a conversation when I was in the back that the tithes and offerings went up because of the online giving.
Yeah, they did.
It's
I think
easier.
because the people were going to use their conference pledges. I think there was a testimony that somebody gave. They said that they were going to dip into the conference money because of what happened with COVID.
No,
and the
but
economy.
I'm saying even before the shutdown happened, we had been using the online giving for a couple months. Online giving.
Oh yeah, they did actually. Yeah, you're right.
The tithes and offerings actually went
went up.
increased. These are just things that we have to. I know they could be scary, but something we have to embrace them.
Yeah.
When you think about it, so you go and you're like, oh, I forgot my tithe.
Yeah.
And by the time you get there, you're already in church, and church is already starting. Like,
I don't care,
forgot my
Cash.
Well,
tithe.
I remember one time Pastor Warner, he said, and these words have always stuck to me, methods are many, but principles are few. Methods always change, principles never do. That just blew away my mind.
He got bars.
Yeah,
He has so many bars to
Think
go
about
to
it.
prison. Right?
But think about that, the methods, there's so many different things, online, live stream, giving online, getting dressed as a clown and draw people and preach the gospel.
Yeah.
Getting in a bike and do flips or whatever, draw people, preach the gospel. Methods, you can be as creative as you want. I think the church should be the most creative place in the world, because the Creator created us and gave us His genius. But because we're so stuck in the way we've been doing things for the last X amount of time, we can't think outside of the box. The methods are many. The principle is what doesn't change. We are all sinners. We have all sinned. We have all broken God's law. Yet Jesus died for us because He loves us. That's the message. Now we repent, we are forgiven, you know, and we change. Repentance is a 180, you know, it's a complete turnaround. Now we don't do the things that we did before. Those are the principles. That's never going to change. Heaven is real, hell is real. That's never going to change. Methods are many, principles are few. Methods always change. You know, there's stuff in the 60s that are not going to work now, you know, or, you know, I mean, again, I'm not being rebellious or anything, you know, but there's just different methods, you know, that we can do, that we can implement, you know, but the principle has to remain the same. We can't change the principle, you know, so that's my opinion.
Just pictures of, when Jesus said, I'll make you fishers of men, right? You go out fishing, right? You're an avid fisherman, you could say, right? So just real quick, right? If you think about it, right? When you go out there, you already know your territory, right? You know the kind of fish sometimes that you're working with. You have certain conditions, right? So you know the certain bait that you have to use to get what you want to get out there, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. It's not really that you're baiting somebody, but you're trying different things to draw people in. So once you have them there, you know, you could see that that's how you're fishing for souls. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's not that you're being rebellious. You just go back to the drawing board. Okay, this didn't work. Let's try this. You know, I didn't catch anything that day. Let's go back and try this. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Because if you do something to draw people in, they'll come. I mean, look at all the techniques of the world. The things that they do. And you announce something silly like free beer, and you have like 10,000 people outside of a bar, right? But you announce free food at a church, and people start showing up like, oh, give me some food. All right, we got you here. Boom. You know, hit them with some gospel right there. You know what I mean? So it just...
That's pretty good.
I mean, as long as the gospel's being preached, right?
Amen, exactly, bro.
Chance. I mean, that's why we do stuff like our fall festival. That's why we do stuff like, well, before we used to do haunted house. And, you know, many people are like, oh, we should go back to the haunted house and stuff like that. They always have that debate. The haunted house is the hardest thing. But no, that's why I feel like the haunted house, we were targeting young people, and that's what made it different, that, you know, they come, and then they see all the scenes and they get scared and stuff, but at the end there's a preacher. There's someone offering them Jesus Christ. Now we shifted our target, and we, you know, fall festivals are for more of the families, you know, the broken home that come together. You know, even with the puppet show, silly puppet show, could do a whole lot. And you know, it probably won't affect, you know, the adult, but that child that's seen it. I remember when I was 10 years old and I got saved, and I saw because of my parents' broken marriage. But that there is the gospel, even at 10 years old, was able to touch me, and, you know, stirring that, you know, to pray to God, to ask God bring restoration to my parents' marriage. And then that when I made that prayer, there is Cesar Medina coming to our house, you know, doing a job at our house, preaching the gospel to my dad, inviting us to church. You know, that's the thing that's, you know, yes, the puppet show may not work for the adults, but it, you know, there's that 10-year-old, that 11, 12-year-old that, you know, that is struggling as well. And, you know, that's what the fall festival does. And, you know, we also have other methods. The concert, young people, brings young people. 3-on-3. 3-on-3 brings the basketball players. You know, those people also need salvation.
And we have plenty of fruit from that. Marquise, Josue.
Marquise. I remember Marquise. A awesome story about Marquise is that I remember, you know, at the West Side, he used to live in the West Side. I don't know if he still does.
Oh, your pops was telling me.
That was a crazy story. That I even remember Marquise. That, you know, we went to a rec to go play basketball over there on the West Side, and, you know, me and Abel, a disciple from my dad, and my dad, we were gonna go play basketball, and we saw Marquise there on the court playing. You know, he was there with his long dreads and stuff like that. He looked like a sinner, and I even said to myself, I'm like, and
he was like a sinner.
Raw sinner. So I was like, and I even said to myself,
I got a sinner.
I was like,
someone want him.
Yo, honestly, I was looking at him, and I was like, dang, he'd be like a great asset to the church.
Dang,
and my dad said he was gonna go and, you know, speak to him and testify to him, but he just wouldn't get off the court. He didn't lose. He just kept on winning and winning. He wouldn't get off the court. And then then we went to a different court to go play because they opened up the other court, and we went to go play because Marquise wouldn't get off the court because he kept on winning. But I remember that I even saw him like that. He would be a great asset to the church because I just saw him there was something in his spirit. And how you know that later on we come to a 3-on-3 to visit, and there's Marquise playing basketball, and, you know, he gets radically saved.
It's because you just never know when the seed that you've planted is gonna bear fruit, you know, and that's not your job. Your job is not to you know, you can't. There's nothing you can do to make that seed grow. That's God's job.
Yeah, what does the Bible
Yeah.
say? Paul plants,
Yeah.
Apollo waters.
Our
God
job
brings
is just
increase.
to plant as many seeds as possible.
Exactly.
That's our job, to scatter the seed and pray that God gives us fruit.